You know what people say once you start setting boundaries too? Man, you've changed, bro.
Yeah, bro. Every time you change.
changed,
It's not even just change. And you're right, I did change. Because
Yeah.
if I stayed the same, we both be broke.
Bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't have an option.
I ain't have an option.
I think I would have a panic attack if I like met somebody that I haven't seen since like high school, and they're like, "Bro, you're the same person I remember."
I'd be like,
"Damn."
I'm like, damn, so I ain't do nothing since you. All right.
For real? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. This is episode
32.
and we're here. It's me and your boy, Tre Tipton. We got a special episode today, and when I say special, it's a little bit different than what we've kind of been throwing at you.
100%. It's a
But
lot different.
I think it's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah.
You know, how do you feel about it?
I feel like the good word is the good word. They need it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be something that a lot of people are going to actually enjoy, get a lot out of it, and then also be able to take some things home with them.
Yeah. I mean, I know this conversation really was great for me. So, you know, like with the show, right? Our tagline is where art and sports connect through conversation, right? So we talk a little bit about, you know, your coaching, maybe my playing days, your playing days, what's going on in the world of sports.
Right.
Or we talk about, you know, like when I initially started the show before you came on board, like, you know, I do uniform design. So like I used to do like uniform mock-ups and listen. I want to get back to that here soon too.
Got to.
But today was a little bit different. And I think that it was really like, you know, us just talking about some of the things that we're experiencing in our life. And we really like, so just to be like transparent, we filmed this intro after the podcast so that we know what we talked about. And then magic of editing, we put it before it. And we contemplated, like, do we keep this episode? Like, is this right for our audience? We're still trying to learn, like, what you guys like from us. You know what I mean? Because the show has pivoted so many times.
100 times.
You know, and even just adding you on, that it brought this element of, you know, a deeper conversation. It's hard to have the conversation that we had today by myself.
Right.
Like, to sit in front of a camera and be like, here's what I'm feeling. But I've always been feeling those things.
Right.
But now to have you, you know, kind of work through those thoughts with me, I think I'd like to keep this episode. So, you know, as I'm sitting here filming this intro, I still don't even know if what you're about to watch. If you're watching this, we've decided to show you it.
Yes.
Not that it's anything bad. It's just different than what we typically talk about. Like last week, we talked about your boy slicing his arm open at a WVU.
Still got pictures of that.
You know what I'm saying?
Pictures of that. It's a little wild.
And like I was coming back from the Grand Canyon, and there's just, you know, that was a little bit even outside of our normal topics, but we're interested in growing with you guys, and that's kind of where our topic
100%.
came from today, is growth.
Right.
So we're gonna get into that episode here. Is there anything that you want to say to preface the conversation?
Man, just keep your mind and your ears open. Give yourself a chance to really listen to the things that we're talking about, because not only are they important, but they're things that we are passionate about. And we're going to continue to do what we do here on the podcast and be able to enjoy ourselves. But we also want you guys to enjoy. We want you guys to listen and actually want to share, comment, like, all the above. So tune in. What episode is this?
It's episode 32, baby.
32, baby. Let's get to it.
All right, Tre, football season is back. What are you most excited about?
Most excited for, man, just to be able to see people compete at a high level, especially about a sport that we all love, man. And other than that, man, it's all about competition. So let me ask you the same question. What are you excited for?
Glad you asked. I'm excited for grooming season.
Grooming season.
Grooming season sounds awful. It sounds like I'm going to get canceled immediately. They didn't tell me to say that. So, those were my words.
Manscaped.
Football season, like we said, is back. And one of the biggest things that football players struggle with is keeping up with their hygiene. Trust me. I don't know if you've ever been in a football locker room.
Them boys stink.
Y'all stink. Okay? So hit us up. We got a deal for you. Go to manscaped.com.
Yes, sir.
And with 20% off, you'll get, with our code,
Athlete20.
Athlete20 at checkout. They have a wide array of products that can help you not go give your girlfriend a hug after the game and smell like dookie. Okay? So
Dookie.
we got ball deodorant. We got, like, a beard trimmer, because, listen, when you get the beard stuck in the sweaty, like, bro, did you ever have, like, one of the chin straps on the helmet? And then you literally, like, take it off. And if you had, like, the chin strap wrap, like the sock,
protector?
or like the protector,
The protector,
like
yeah.
that thing is, you ever smell that thing at the end of a season? Dog.
Smell like the back of a barnyard, baby.
That is rough. So
rough.
we need to make sure that the beard is properly shampooed. We need to make sure that it's properly trimmed.
Yes,
we need to make sure that your press conference after the game is looking right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be out here looking crazy.
You feel me?
So head to manscaped.com. They got you covered for everything you may need. That's 20% off with code
Athlete20.
That's right. You heard me right. 20% off and free shipping, actually, with code athlete20 at manscaped.com. Your grass, Trey, is not artificial.
It's not.
Keep it shaved.
Got to keep it clean.
With Manscaped.
Manscaped.
So how we feeling today, Trey?
I'm feeling good, man. A lot of different things is happening. We shot a podcast with my man B. Hess. Things have been going pretty decent, if you ask me, man. A lot of things are growing fast for us, I feel like.
Yeah. So for those maybe tuning in, you just referenced you went live with B. Hess. So Brian, if you've seen previous episodes, we've had him on as a guest. The studio is literally, he owns the studio. He's
brought to you by Brian.
Built this studio. We've built it together, but without Brian, this place doesn't exist. So you have been on his show.
100 times.
I've been on his show in the mornings. So maybe we'll just start there, do a little plug. Like, if you guys enjoy what we talk about on here, I know that your episode this morning was incredible. We were recording this, not to time stamp this, but we recorded this on a Tuesday.
Right.
So you just went live today with him, and you guys talked about mental health. And it sparked a lot of things for me. And, so Brian called me on the way in, and he was like, so I kind of like want to talk about mental health with like Trey. And I didn't realize in the moment he was like uninviting me from the show this morning. I thought he was trying to get my opinion on like a topic. And so I don't know if you noticed, but I walked in, I set my bag behind the table, and I went to sit down, and I was like, huh. No mic here. But so I walked away. But you guys did great. I've made it 3 episodes.
3 episodes.
Yeah.
And got just booted.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
You got kicked outside the club, cuz.
Yeah.
That's tough.
But in doing so, I was able to sit back and just actually listen. Sometimes, like, when you're in something, you don't hear it fully.
Right.
Does that make sense?
100%.
Like, you're thinking about what you're going to say. So, like, it gave me a perspective of, like, actually watching, and hearing everything everybody's saying. And maybe that's something I'm working on even just, like, as an interviewer, because, like, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to listen to the conversation, not be, like,
right,
premeditating what you're going to say. But, yeah, you guys really covered a lot, and it made me think a lot.
And I ain't going to lie to you, man. When we talk about mental health, it's a lot different from what it was a couple years back, right, where people really weren't that comfortable with talking about such a topic. But nowadays, it feels like everybody's not only comfortable with it, but they're now taking a chance on themselves and trying to grow through their pain. So it's cool to see, especially right now, bro, but I try to preach as much as possible, bro, that we want warriors, not victims. You know what I mean? And that is something I don't know if people preach. You know what I mean? And I hope that I don't offend anybody by saying that, though. But what do I mean by that is the fact that, like, a victim is somebody who doesn't see that they can actually get themselves out of it, and it's everything that's happened to them. Granted, there's a lot of things that happen to a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. But a warrior of life, right, a lot of things happened to them, but they responded. They decided to get back up on their own 2 feet, either with some help and or with somebody around them to help them up and or with themselves or through their religion. You know what I'm saying? For me, I had all 3. I had a strong tribe. I had strong faith in God. And then on top of that, bro, I had a strong faith in myself that I'll be okay at the end of this. You know what I mean? And that didn't come lightly. You know what I mean? That took a lot of work. That took a lot of mental determination. You know what I mean? Positive growth. But for you, man, I want to actually get to know you a little bit better. When for yourself did you feel like you had to bounce back? You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty tough. It was pretty hard, man. If you don't mind sharing with the group and collective of people, when did you feel like you genuinely had to bounce back? You somewhat lost yourself, or you had to group it all back together?
I don't even know, dude. I would say, like COVID definitely was a wake-up call for a lot of people, but I felt like for a long time, I felt like I was kind of just doing what I thought was the next step, or like, and it's weird because, like, when you do that, you think you're doing the next right thing, but like, if it's not aligned with like who you are and like what you want for your life,
right,
eventually, like, that small degree difference becomes, a large gap.
Large degree, yeah.
But then when there's like a reset in kind of the world and everything, like it allows you to kind of look at things. And I would say that was a reset for me. When I lost my dad, I had to like really, respond and figure out like how I want to maneuver through life. And I'm not proud of a lot of the way. The thing is, like, I'm not proud of a lot of the decisions or things that I did when I was trying to like reboot.
Right.
But like sometimes like you have to do them to learn the lesson.
Right.
And like if you don't mess up, like you'll never learn from it. And I think as people kind of just
say it again. If you don't mess up, you'll never what?
Learn from it.
Come on, man. That is a strong, impactful thing.
I said. Swing, what's up, dude?
Swing it, ding, ding.
Dude?
Can we hear you over there?
Yeah,
you got a
can hear
mic?
me. I'm
mic'd up.
I'm up. We're live.
Feeling good today?
Oh, we're feeling great.
I'm feeling hot. I
Another day
ain't
in
gonna lie. I gotta take this
Bro,
thing
I
off.
know you're sweating.
Yeah,
Phew.
you really
Like,
put that on under these
I didn't
lights.
think it would be this hot. Dang.
You're in
sweating
the
in a
spotlight,
hoodie.
dog.
You're in a blanket, like a legit blanket.
Legit blanket.
It's all wool on the inside.
Oh, it's height. Not hot. It's height.
Mm-hmm.
But you said, as you said before, bro, you were talking about growth, man. Like, do you feel like you grew from those things, bro? Like, do you feel like you're definitely a better father in the end of it? Just
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I was thinking about this the other day, too. Like, the highs and lows, like, of things you have to overcome, or, like, do you want to take a break? And
I'm taking this off. You don't got to take a break. You can keep this rolling. Ain't nothing going to change about that.
Talking to this man.
Sheesh. Boy, sweating. Goodness gracious. All right, I'm back in the game.
We back.
Man, continue.
Oh, so I think that like with highs and lows,
Right.
sometimes we're too afraid of the extremes,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of life happens in between them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the growth, the high, the moment of leveling up to like a new level.
Mm-hmm.
Once you reach it, it kind of like plateaus again, and it's like your baseline raises. But like with the lows, you're afraid to kind of go there, or like, oh, what if this happens, or oh, I don't know how I'll live if this happens. And I mean, some of them can be like as serious as like, I don't know how I'm gonna live if like something happened to my kids. Like
Right.
that's probably the deepest one for me. Something happened to my kids. I don't know how I could respond. I don't know how I could respond and keep going on in life.
Right.
But what I've learned is like the way that people do that is because, like, think about when I hiked the Grand Canyon.
Right.
Okay, for one, that was a very high moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I come back and I'm so excited to like sit down and tell you all about it. And then life just goes on. Like it's like that high moment happened and I was in that moment and it was so victorious to get it in and out of the canyon in a day and like do all this stuff. And I'm like, that's going to change my life. But the day to day is not different.
Right.
It's just that I now have this experience. Well, if that's true for the highs, then that's also true for the lows. So like as low can get, it's not forever. The same way as high can get, it's not forever. You just develop new baselines. You develop new ways to like live in the median of the highs and the lows. So the fact that you maybe are experiencing the lowest low that you can possibly ever fathom,
Right.
guess what that means? That means your pendulum also has the capability now to swing to the highest high that you ever could possibly imagine.
So do you think you're on your high right now?
No. I think I'm at a new base. I think that's the goal, is to like find a new average that is higher than the previous average.
I like that.
I don't think you can live in your highs. I think that's when people's life get out of control. When you like truly just start leaning into all the, the good. This feels good. This feels like amazing, and then you start to like lose touch with reality a little bit.
What do you think Travis Kelce's thinking right now?
Oh,
You think
Jesus.
think he's on a high right now with what's going on in his life? I mean, he's the most sold jersey right now. He had to beat his brother real quick, and now he's dating Taylor Swift. Like, I think that's a very high.
Yeah, I would say that man is like on like another level of life. And Taylor Swift, I'm sure, people love Taylor Swift. I don't mean this to be like, oh, like the guy that's like, oh, I hate all the things that people like. Like, I've just never been a huge fan personally of her music, and like it just doesn't like hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like he's definitely at his highest high, probably professionally, whatever, but it makes me think like when I'm at my highest high, it probably looks unattainable to other people who
Right.
have not reached that yet. And I'm not saying I've done amazing things that nobody's ever done, but I'm saying like there's definitely people that look at my life and they go, wow, he's done something that I could never do.
Right.
I look at people and I'm like, wow, they've done something that I could never do.
Right.
But they don't live in the high. Their average is now just higher than mine. They're like mean and their like life is higher than mine. So it doesn't even probably feel like they're on top of the world. It probably because Travis Kelce looks at other people and goes, I can never do what they do.
Right.
So it's like, when does it stop?
Right.
When do you just become satisfied with who you are and what you have?
What J. Cole say, love yours, I think is what he said most. I love that quote, bro, because whatever you got is what you got. And it's okay to have that.
Yeah.
So love yours, have fun with it. You know what I mean? So I like that balance that you're talking about because we all need balance in some type of sort. You know what I mean? Like I love the fact that we have a balance between you and I. When you're really up, I might be medium. When you're medium, I might be up. You know what I'm saying? And it's nice to be around the people that we currently have around us, bro, just because we're all pushing for the same thing right now. We're all chasing the same thing right now, and it's beautiful. So
talk to the importance, like how important is it then to like have people around you that all have a common goal? Because like, let's say when you're at your low, right, and I come in and I'm also at my low, or like, maybe I'm at my high, or like whatever, like I could sway you in one way or another.
100%.
So like if you don't have the right people that like even if we're both low,
right,
like we're going to be all right. Like we're not going to just be like, yo, let's just go hit the strip club instead.
And that's why the common goal is so important, bro. Like once we have a common goal, doesn't matter if we're both low, we both see that the goal still needs to be hit. You know what I'm saying? We got to hit the market. I mean, not the market, the target. We got to hit the target, bro. Like at the end of the day, it comes down to you and I saying to each other, like, this is what we agreed upon, right? Whether we're both tired or we're both up or we're both down, we both agreed upon we're going towards this target right now.
Yeah.
So that is a motivator for us, even when we don't want to be here or we don't want to stand up or we don't want to feel like we're having a great day. You still see the mission ahead of you. And that's why I think it's important to have people around you that have similar goals to where you want to go.
Yeah, man. I mean, like no matter where you're at, like if, I used the strip club analogy as like it's people around you. Mm-hmm. Like if you're married, right? Like I'm married. If I hang out with people that like, they don't have a set value on their like relationships.
100%.
They don't care to help me in a way, like, unless they have a relationship with my wife as well. Like
they say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
It's so true, dude.
Very true.
It's so true. And it's like, I've had to lose friends because they're in that, they're not married. And it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the way they live their life. It's just that like, if this is what I want,
I can't do this.
I can't keep doing what, your comfort is.
Right.
And I think, that's true in business. That's true in sports. That's true in your life. I think that like, you got to have circles almost in every pocket, right? Like you got to have, like, if you're an athlete, you got to have your pocket of like 4 or 5 guys on that team that, you can go to in a pinch and be like, yo, like this is some bullshit. Like, like I can rely on those guys. Same thing in, in your personal life with your friends. You can, in your business and you're like, whatever it is, you got to have those people that you can like really lean on when shit hits the fan.
Right.
They say the best version of you isn't the I can do everything version. It's the version that has parameters. It has boundaries. That's the best version of you. I don't do that. I don't hang out with those people. Like, and I learned that when I came in here.
Bro, you gotta set boundaries. You gotta set boundaries, and that's the one thing I feel like people don't even do in their relationships is set boundaries between them and their spouse or them and the other people around them. Like, this is a boundary that I'm not gonna cross.
You know what people say once you start setting boundaries too? Man, you've changed, bro.
Yeah, bro. Every time you change. It's not even just change. And you're right, I did change. Because if I stayed the same, we both be broke.
Bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't have an option.
I ain't have an option.
I think I would have a panic attack if I like met somebody that I haven't seen since like high school and they're like, bro, you're the same person I remember.
I'd be like,
damn.
I'm like, damn, so I ain't do nothing since you. All right.
For real? Let me do something crazy.
Nah, for real though, because at the end of the day, bro, if you're not growing, then you're staying stagnant. And if you're staying stagnant, then where are you going really? You know what I mean? It's okay to be content in certain circumstances. Don't get it twisted. But for the most part, bro, like if your goal is to get to somewhere higher than you already are, then you can't stay the same, bro. Because who you currently are doesn't match who you want to be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like where you're trying to go, you want to be a millionaire. You want to make sure that your family's comfortable, right? Your current values, the way that you currently think, don't fit that regimen just yet.
Yeah.
But they're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get there, that's probably not going to even satisfy you either, because you're going to be like, I still want to grow even better in this realm of life. It's not always monetized. It's not always money. But it might be, I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better son. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better father. Whatever it may be, bro, you are always looking to grow, because if you're not looking to grow, bro, you're just staying stagnant. And then you're going to get that text in 10 years when you're like, we're having a 10-year reunion. You're like, you haven't changed a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you going to look around like, damn, I ain't changed.
Yeah.
I ain't grow. Like, what? You feel me? So I'd rather be the rose that grows through the concrete than to never actually make it out. You know what I mean? So growth.
Yeah.
It's important, bro.
I think too, like, you know, we've tied a couple of our episodes to like our beliefs, like spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I don't know what everybody listening to this believes or whatever, but I do believe in God, and I believe that, like, you know, I've had like a lot of really deep personal work that I've done to figure out what I believe.
Right.
Like, I'm not somebody that just was like raised in a church and just like believes because it's what I was told to do and go to Sunday school.
You got to create it on your own,
blah,
for
blah,
real.
blah, blah. Like, yeah, I for real, like, you know, I explored that to the, you know, as far as I could go with it. It's, you know, to a certain extent in my life where, you know, I was working in a church. I was, you know, a youth director, and I learned a lot of stuff in those 3 years where I worked at the church. Because for one, I learned that people talk to you differently.
Right.
When they know that you're working for a church. Like, people that I knew my whole life, and I would like go back to a wedding or like whatever, and they'd know I worked at the church, and they're talking to me about all this, like, you know, all these things they do in the community now, and like, and I'm like, bro,
Like,
we
keep
have the
it
same
real.
friends, bro.
Keep
like,
it real.
I know what you did last night. Like, I was there. Like, I did it with you. Like, we were at the same party.
Right.
Like, it's like, it's so weird. So like, that was like one level of growth that I really had to like work through, because, you know, people looked at me really trying to figure out what I believe and why, as like instead of it looking at me exploring my faith of like why I believe what I believe, they looked at it as more of a declaration of, oh, you're so, you know, you're so all about this right now that you must have it all figured out. And I was like, no, it's actually the opposite. I was trying to figure it all out, and me, like, you know, reading scripture, or like, you know, going through history and learning my faith from the ground up was what shaped me, honestly, to set me free, to pursue the life that I have now.
Wow.
And there was a lot of growth through that, where I just had to be okay with people talking to me differently, treating me differently, not inviting me to certain places anymore. And because of that, I grew the most and the fastest.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know really how to shape that into this conversation, but I feel like there's something there with what you said about, you know, like seeing yourself having the things that you don't have yet.
Yeah.
Seeing yourself being at that level that you're not at yet.
Right.
Because, and this was initially why I brought up the whole faith thing, was like, if you are a believer, if you're a Christian, you believe in God, then you believe in a God that kind of has, you know, we have free will.
Right.
But he sees your life on a different plane than you see your life. Like, your life is eternal to him. And this is like a momentary blip in this eternal existence. So he sees start, he sees the finish. He's the Alpha, Omega, he's the beginning, he's the end.
Right.
So like, if that's true, right, and your soul is eternal, then that means everything you've experienced on this earth has actually eternally already happened. I'm about to go there, okay? You going with me?
I'm rolling. All right. I'm rolling.
So if that has already happened, right, if it's eternal, it's already happened, then that means you only physically haven't achieved that level of growth
Come
yet.
on.
Mentally, you can tap into it, because mental transcends physical. Mental is eternal. That's what we take with us, our spirit, our soul, our mind. So if you can tap into it now, isn't that a form of like communicating to God and saying, I'm ready for it, like I'm ready to receive it. Can you bless me with this? If you're sitting there like, I'll never get there, then God's like, yeah, you're not ready.
Oh, for sure. I definitely think that you have to have a sense of like, yes, like I want this. This is what I want to do. If you never tell God what you want, you'll never get what you're asking for. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely 100% agree with that. But I also agree with the fact that you do have to take some sense of growth within that, right? Because like you said, it already happened and your mental's already there, right? So you somewhere in your brain have to tap in and say, you see it, you taste it, now you got to grow to it. Not go to it, grow to it. You know what I mean? Because some people have bad habits, bad mental habits as well, self-defeating habits as well, right? You'll tell yourself 100 times you're not worth anything before you need anybody else to tell you. You see what I'm saying? So you got to mentally grow to see the blessings that God wants you to see. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't see the blessings that God wants you to see, then you'll never seek the opportunity. You don't seek the opportunity, who can you blame?
You just got me with a good one. I got a visual there. You said you got to grow to it, not go to it. Mm-hmm. Dude, it sounds cliche, but it's not when you think about it. Because if you go to something, that means you pick up and you leave and you go there. Yep. And now this is where you plant your roots.
Yep.
But if you grow to something, your roots never change.
Come on.
Like,
come on.
Your roots, you can't change your roots.
You can't.
You could pick up and grow, but you're gonna die if you don't have roots.
Exactly.
If you don't have a foundation. So if your roots suck,
you're not,
and they're rocky, that's horrible. But like, those are your roots.
That's what you started at.
I'm sorry they are.
That's what you started at.
But you don't have to stay there. You still can grow.
You know the best thing about roots? Watch this, right? People say that trees move. And you'd be like, what? This doesn't make sense. No, they do move. They move because their roots grow in different directions, right? And they move over time, right? Same scenario. Where you're going does not match where you're at.
So you're saying roots actually can move?
Yes. But here's the thing, though. Your roots, hear me out.
I wasn't ready for this.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. Because you start your roots in one place. Those roots still stay there. They grow more roots outwardly. As big as the tree is up top is as big as the tree is down below, right? Therefore, the roots are going and spreading in multiple different directions, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that help you grow into the person you're trying to become, the tree you're trying to become, right? Let's think about it, right? There's parts to your roots where things haven't always been great, and you got to figure out how to get out of it. That's part of your roots. Then there's times where things have been awesome, and you've seen success, you've touched it, you've tasted it. It's also part of your roots. Then there's times where you've not only grew up in a specific type of area, you know what I mean, but you've grown and had friends that may or may not be here, but those are also part of your roots. They all make up the person that you currently are, good, bad, or indifferent. So like you said, your roots never leave. You just grow more and more roots. Everywhere you go becomes a part of your future, past, and present. That was correct. That was a little bit deep.
That was it right there.
That was it right there.
I mean, it's so true. It's so true. Like, so when do you know that, okay, here's the question then, levels, right?
Levels.
What does it feel like? Do you think you've reached, are you still below ground?
Me? Whew.
Are you still developing your roots?
I think I am. I think I'm still developing my roots. Here's why. I think that you never genuinely grow to your fullest potential until you reach God. I'm being so serious. I know it sounds a lot cliche. That's a lot cliche, but I'm being honest. Like, I feel like you never hit your maximum side of things, right? Your maximal height of becoming a tree, right? Until you see God. And the reason why I believe that is because if you're working in the right direction, right? Everything you've done before then is a part of your growth. Mm-hmm. Everything is a part of your growth. Just for you to finally say in front of them, this is what I've done. This is the tree that I am. You see what I'm saying? So right now, I would say that I'm still growing my roots. I'm still in a younger stage of my life where there's gonna come a time where I start growing more as a tree.
What's it feel like when Tre Tipton breaks through the ground?
Honestly, I'm a father. That's why I said right now you might be in your tree stage, and it's everybody's different perspective. Because I look up to guys who are fathers. Because there's people out there who are not, even though they got kids. Mm. So to me, it's like you're growing in that essence when you become a father and you stay a father. You become a father and you're now teaching your young in the light, in the eyes of God.
Yeah.
That's when you're becoming your tree, because now your roots, peep this, watch this. your roots start growing other trees. Think about this.
Wait, does that happen though for real?
No, it doesn't always
Okay.
happen. But here's the thing: roots cross
I
and
wanted to
intertwine.
make sure. Is this a science or
No,
are we still in like?
no. Peep
You
though.
just messed up his entire
Peep,
EF
peep,
education,
peep,
dog.
Peep, though. This is true. True statement.
I'm
True
still
statement.
with you. I just had to clarify
True
for
statement.
myself.
No,
for
true
any
statement.
botanists out there that are like,
So,
that
but
doesn't happen.
But what does happen is roots cross. Think about that. Roots cross, right?
Yeah.
So because they cross, right, you're now teaching the other roots on how to become a what? A tree.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing right
Giving
now.
nutrients, sharing nutrients.
All that. Because at the end of the day, as a father, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to grow your children to become whatever they want to become.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I feel like I'll hit my peak. When my kids do better than I've ever done, is when I got to my peak. But until then, I'm always looking to grow. That's one of my biggest things. Like I can't be satisfied. It's maybe a problem, to be honest with you. It's hard for me to be satisfied with just being stagnant because I always want to be better for the people around me, including myself.
Yeah.
Notice I said including myself. The people around me, including myself, because there's times where we see each other as two different people. There's one side of you that's telling you that you can't do anything. Then the other side's like, bro, you could do all things. And that's 9 times out of 10, that's probably God, to be honest with you.
Dang.
That was deep. Sorry to take you there. Very, very deep. I apologize,
All right,
guys.
so
Let's
now
get back
our
to
next
it.
segment, we're going to talk about our favorite uniforms of the week from the NFL.
That was a little
I don't
too
know
deep.
how to like. I mean, that's kind of what's beautiful about this show is, like, it has its basis in sports and design. That's our tagline is where art and sports connect through conversation. So if you clicked on this and this is the first episode you're watching, I don't really know what to say because this is false advertisement, but this is the best false advertisement, bro.
I could possibly
because,
give you.
like, you know, I am passionate about, you know, the basis of this show. I am passionate about those things, but if that's all we talk about, then this podcast is probably going to get stale really quick.
Oh, 100%.
And I think that, like, the messages that I get from people about the show are, you know, tangents that we go off on about life, about, you know, things we've overcome, things we're overcoming. And, you know, I feel like we're building like a community here. I feel like everybody that watches and, you know, likes or comments, like we've said it before, it just sounds like shallow to ask for those things, but it's like the reason we're doing this show is because we want to talk to people. We want to have a conversation.
100%.
We don't want to just talk to a camera and be like, this is what we believe, and, you know, watch us.
Right.
Like, no, this is like the start of a conversation, or else I'm not going to do this show.
Right.
Like, if nobody's talking back, then what's the point?
Right.
So, you know, if this strikes, you know, you in a certain way, or if this, you know, maybe speaks to something you got going on in your life, like, reach out to me and Trey. You know, we're
100%.
like, we want to form a community here of athletes, of creatives, because we can speak to both of them. And then what's amazing is, like, getting to work alongside Brian. Like, he could speak into any entrepreneurial
100%.
situation because he's overcome everything in business. He's become a mentor to us. And so, like, allow us to, like, this is free. Like, this is totally free for you to consume.
Free
We're not
99.
asking you to sign up.
Nope.
We're not asking you to pay for a membership. We don't have a Patreon. We don't.
None of that.
There's no paywalls to any content that we have. The only way that we're asking for your support is to like, share, subscribe.
That's it.
And let us know that you're here. So
That's it.
we're going to swear less on the show because we think the algorithm is bumping us down.
Yeah, it
So
definitely is.
we didn't try to intentionally get super deep and talk about God to, like, sway the pendulum, but that's just how things worked.
It definitely worked that way.
Last
today.
week you were telling us about your boy at the tailgate that split his arm open. This
here's
week
the
we're
thing,
like,
bro.
here's
Like-
what I think about God.
Can I keep it real one more time, please? This is my last one. I promise. Last tangent. I hate that people think that you got to be some uptight type of person to believe in God. Like, I can't fathom it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're human.
Mm-hmm.
We are meant to mess up. But when you mess up, do you learn something? And yes, I mess up. I'm goofy. I'm just a deep thinker,
Yeah.
like many other deep thinkers. But that's the same thing about Brian, probably. They think he's super serious. Brian is the most unserious person that I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
That
like,
man's got two things on his mind. I think it's maybe a few more, but 2 prevalent things. How do I make good money with good people? And where's the closest bakery? Like,
because
that
he
man loves his sweets.
bro, too
did
much.
Vinny
That boy
just
cake,
rip the
cookies,
carpet
all
up?
that. You feel me? He bought a whole. Listen, Sway. Let me tell you, bro. We went to Uniontown.
Yeah.
This man bought almost every cookie off the cookie tray.
Yeah.
Brought
No,
them
he
back
did.
here and
he bought
crushed
all
them.
of them. He
Crushed
bought the entire store out of cookies and justified it as, this is for my staff.
I think I got
Nah,
2.
Bro, I don't know how many I got, but it wasn't a lot. We're just snitching right now. Hopefully his
yeah.
wife doesn't watch this. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
Lori.
Sorry, Lori. Apologize about that. No, but for real though, man, it's just gotta have fun, bro.
Yeah, dude. It definitely goes back to, like, you know, what I was saying about working at a church. People talk to you differently.
Yeah.
People are going to talk to you differently when you level up no matter what, even if it's not spiritual. Like I was saying, like I worked at the church. That's why they started talking to me differently. But like when I started a podcast, people talked to me differently.
Right.
When I quit my job to pursue art full time, my family definitely started talking to me different. Like,
Same.
you good? Like, no, for real. Like, are you paying your bills?
Nah, for real,
You
they
good?
be acting wild, don't they?
You good? I promise. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, are you good? Like,
Now look at you.
and I'm like, I'm good. There's been several times where I wasn't good, but like, I believed, you know, like I believed that I knew what I was betting on. And it was myself, and you know, it was scary at times, but you get through it, dude. The highs are never a long time, and the lows are never. See, that's an abstract statement. That was about to be really good, but I just threw it all out there. The highs don't last forever, and neither do the lows.
That's exactly it.
Find your new average. Find your new mean between the two, and keep elevating that.
Mm-hmm. Keep elevating your balance.
Keep elevating your balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Manscaped.
Manscaped. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say one more thing. I got a serious question to ask you right now, Vinny, because many people know you're an athlete, and if they don't know, now they know. Who would you like?
You should call me an athlete.
That might be the best compliment that he's ever given you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me. He's an athlete.
Why do you think I'm an athlete?
The short shuttle, man. Not gonna lie, we did an office short shuttle and he killed it. He was only at what, 10th of a second away from me.
Yeah.
I gotta give credit where it's due. It looks like you were a little bit electrifying when you were playing. So now I got a question for you, Mr.
What about
Electric.
when I did the kick up the other day?
That too. Did
Did that surprise you?
Yes, definitely did. But you did it so quickly.
Like when you like lay on your back and you.
But you did it smooth. So now, because I stated you're an athlete, out of all the coaches in the NFL, what are your top 3 you want to play for?
I don't know. Probably Bill Belichick, because he has a great history with white wide receivers and giving them playing time. So.
True. Shout out to Edelman. And Wes Welker.
So if we're going for playing time, Bill Belichick.
Okay.
Life lessons, Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
He's going to make sure I'm straight, my family and my life. And then homie from the Dolphins, what's his name?
That's what I'm saying. McDaniels. I'm
McDaniels
going with
didn't make
Mickey.
the top
I'm trying to
3.
score some points,
You
baby.
feel me? You feel me? You feel me? I like Mike. You feel like he's a goofy dude, bro.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like I would absolutely love that guy.
Oh,
like
100%.
Him and I are like personalities.
Oh,
I
you
feel
guys
like
would kill
be
it.
very similar.
You would turn into a coach after that. I think
Yeah.
you'd be a great coach.
Me?
Yeah.
I'd be good at like, here's the plays.
Right.
And then I'd be like, here, Trey, motivate them to run them. Like, I can get creative
Right.
with the play calls if I understand the scheme a little more. But like,
Right.
as far as like the whole motivating men thing,
He said,
I might come in and just give you a few. Like, I'm not like a rah-rah kind of guy.
Right.
I used to be.
Really?
I used to be the guy that wanted to stand up and like give a speech and
Right.
like, and then I just,
I mean, you kind of do it now, though.
yeah,
You just did it a couple minutes
different
ago.
way.
Different way. Because you gave me some fire.
I feel like you'd lean more towards motivational speaker, and I would lean more towards stand-up comedian. Not that I have any sort of comedy background or that I think that's. People like would rather laugh at me than take me serious. I think.
I'll take you serious, Vinny. Even when they don't, I do.
Thanks, bud. This has been episode 32 of
32.
the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. Do we have any other closing statements here that we need to keep an eye out for? Or?
Man, keep an eye out for those Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I'm just going to throw that quickly in there because every time they make a field goal or a PAT, we're giving money.
That's right.
We're throwing dollar bills, y'all.
That's right.
So do what?
Partnered with the Pavement Group, with Athletic Aesthetic is, we do this out of Studio One, which is here at the Pavement Group, and the Pavement Group is, officially partnered with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if you go to any games, maybe take a picture of, when they kick a field goal or whatever, they're giving us the paving the way shout out, like record that, tag us on social media. We'd love to see that.
And go buy some merchandise, bro. For real.
Yeah, man.
Buy some Athletic Aesthetic merch.
I'm going to drop some fall stuff here soon, too.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
We're going to work together on that, come out with some nice little fall line for you guys. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, this is Athletic Aesthetic.
Episode 32.
And we
love you.